Hey, before we get in this episode, can you do us a favor? Will you go ahead and subscribe to the channel?
Will you ring that notification bell?
And if you would, give this video a like. Well, enough of that mumbo jumbo. Let's get to the episode.
Let's talk, developmentally speaking, glow up, and connecting through wrestling.
Hey everybody, I'm Morty.
And I'm Brian.
And on today's episode of Connecting Through Wrestling, we have Henry O Godwinn. How you doing, Henry?
Suey, what's up?
Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show today. It is an absolute honor and a pleasure to have you on here.
Glad to be here with you guys.
Awesome. Well, quite simple. We start almost every show that we do with the same question, and it is probably one of the easiest questions for everyone to answer.
Probably won't even ask 1,000 times, and we're going to try to get away from those basic questions.
But we always start with this question. How did you get into wrestling?
Oh my God. Well, actually, I started watching it when I was like 4 or 5 with my grandfather. And I hear a lot of stories from grandpas and grandmas. That's how they started. People started. But in West Virginia, up on the mountain, they got about 3 or 4 channels back in the day. And the wrestling capital was around here for a while in Oak Hill, West Virginia. And that's how I started. That's how I got into it. But I met later in life, I was working in Princeton, West Virginia at the hospital, met Gorgeous George South and Italian Stallion. So one thing led to another, and they started training me and started taking me to WCW, being an extra down there. And at the time, Cowboy Bill Watts had just come in, and him and Dusty were running things. And of course, Eric, I was doing TV down there, and Eric was just graduated from Louisville and wanted to get into it. So I worked Eric at Center Stage in Atlanta one night. And Dusty and Cowboy Bill Watts liked the way I worked him, and it was a little, I was a little green and being around everybody and not knowing a whole lot of people. But so that night after our match, Barry Windham and Dusty asked me if I could go on the road sometime and work Eric. And I said, yeah, hell yeah. Now I'm really scared to death. So I go, yeah, when? And they go, well, can you go tonight? I'm like, damn, all right. So Arn Anderson, I'd met Arn a couple times. He'd give me some clothes. Stallion and George give me some clothes. That was my first experience of being on the road for a week, working Eric Watts. And I rode with Harley Race, was driving. Hercules Hernandez was in the front seat. And me and Barbarian was in the back seat, and I was scared shitless being around all these guys.
Wow, that's amazing! Like that is just.
You guys have room to move on that car?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Well, luckily it was a Caddy or Lincoln, I can't remember. But I'll tell you a little story. I'm scared. The first night we're in Texas, going down the road. I mean, Harley has this thing in the wind. And he's got a cooler in the back behind us. And it was a minivan. That's what it was, because there was a cooler in the back. So Harley's drinking beer, driving. We're cruising. He goes, kid, when you hear this can, I better hear. So every time I made sure to have him another cold one popped and ready when he opened that window at night and threw the can out.
Wow. That's awesome. Like, I mean.
Yeah, me and Barbarian, we talk about that story sometimes because, of course, I went out drinking with them that night, all 3 of them. Mm-hmm. And me being a youngster, not knowing what I'm getting myself into, Barbarian had to put me to bed, and I was rooming with him. So, yeah, it was an interesting night.
He got tucked in by the Barbarian.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, it's not often you hear stories of, I'd pop in Harley's beers for him. I mean, that's amazing to me. Like,
yeah.
So how long did it take for the scared feeling to go away?
Well, soon after that, I was at TV in Georgia, and they had brought Tex up, Dennis, and they told me they were going to put me together with this guy, and we had never met, never talked, and we met at TV. And I think it was maybe a month after that, we started working. We had our gear and our boots and everything, and we started working. And after we got situated as Tex in Shanghai down there, then I was comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been an independent professional wrestling manager for about 12 years, and you talk about being scared. I remember being scared my first year at least, and then once it clicks, it just clicks. So I know exactly what you're talking about, that feeling where you're just like, okay, I've got this.
I can do this.
Yeah, no need.
Not that damn hard.
Yeah, exactly. What's probably in your early years, who was your favorite person to work with?
Oh, let's see.
Or a few favorites. You don't have to single one out.
Trying to think. Well, in WCW, we had the little run with Bagwell and Scorpio, and we were on Beach Blast against them, and
oh yeah,
we had a hell of a match, and I loved working them. I talked to Steamboat that day I seen you guys, and we were talking about when me and Tex worked him and Shane Douglas a couple times in WCW.
Oh wow.
I liked working Sting. Jeez. Yeah, there was some fun times down there, but thank God for unanswered prayers, because we got comfortable there, and we weren't getting used right. Even Arn said that. We used to hang around Arn, and he helped us out a lot. Barry did too, Barry Windham. But yeah, our opportunities, the door opened when we went with Vince in WWF at the time. So, it was a good learning experience, but we were just getting used and abused down there. And even Arn said, you got to go somewhere else for a while. So we went to WWF, where I did, and then Phineas come up about a year later after that.
How did the WWF come about?
Well, glad you asked. At the time, Flair was retired and come back, like 93, 94. Then he started bringing his buddies in, and they let me and Phineas go. Well, Tex in Shanghai. And then another guy they threw out too, you might know, is Paul Levesque, Triple H. We all left at the same time.
Wow.
Me and Hunter went on up to WWF. I think I was up there a little before him. Then he came up. And then, of course, that's how the hog pen match come about. And we were married for 6 years, working each other every night overseas. It was a blast. And God bless Hunter for taking them sloppings every night, because we had to wash our gear out every night for 6 months, and I know he was getting tired of it. But the payoff, that hog pen match, really elevated me and him. And when you come back and you're bleeding and you're broken up and muddy and got hog shit all over you in your ears and everywhere, and Vince says, God, that was a hell of a match. You guys pulled it off. So that was worth anything to me, just hearing that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we went to the Slammies. We went to the Slammies that year for best match of the year.
Yeah. That's awesome. The Slammies, like, that's such a cool thing that I remember. Oh, what Slammy was it? Owen Hart holding his Slammies. I don't remember what year it was. I just remember Owen Hart always carrying his Slammy with him, and that just, it was such a good.
I just watched the match the other day of me and Davey Boy working, and Owen sitting at the announcers table with Vince, and I think Lawler holding his Slammy Award.
Yes, yeah.
I just watched it 2 days ago. I watched it.
That is awesome.
I liked working them too, Davey and Owen. We had a few good matches with them on the road, and yeah, it was they were a pair. They were jokesters, especially Owen.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, you hear the stories. He was quite the prankster.
Yeah, I got some stories on Owen. He was a card. I miss him. Miss both of them.
Absolutely.
So how was it teaming with Dennis again when he came to the WWF? Because I remember the Godwinns were over when we were younger.
Yeah.
What's that?
Teaming with Dennis when he came to the WWF. How was that experience?
Oh yeah, it was awesome. You know, he was working some stuff out for a year, personal stuff, and I kept mentioning his name, you know, while I was up there, and he had a dark match, and then finally they brought him up and put us together, and shit, we picked up right where we left off.
Mm-hmm.
We still do it. I mean, it's crazy, but 30 years of being friends and never having a foul word for each other, never arguing. It's pretty damn awesome.
That's very rare too.
Oh yeah,
very rare. Very
yeah,
good.
we get that too. We got that a lot. Why you guys hang out all the time? You're always together. And like when we were in WCW, we weren't dating. We didn't have any women. We were too excited about wrestling, so we hung out together. And Dusty and Dustin and Marlena, they lived South Georgia there, or south of Atlanta. We would go down there to their house, and Dusty would come over, and we'd cook out. And Pee Wee Anderson would come, and we just sat under the learning tree, man, drink beer and eat and listen to Dusty. And we had some good times. I put a picture out of us at Cactus's house for Dewey's 1-year birthday party.
Oh wow!
And so I put that picture out on Instagram not too long ago. It was me, Mankind, Rick Rude, Phineas, and Van Hammer.
Van Hammer, wow!
Van Hammer was in the picture. That was who was in the picture we took.
Oh man, that's
Good
awesome.
time.
So, I've for many years have always wondered where did you get the slop? What was it made of? Like?
Well,
was it
like when we did show like TVs and stuff. Of course, I had oodles of food to choose from with catering.
Okay.
So the way it all started was Vince said, "Hey, just go to catering and get some slop." I mean, this is right out of the chute with the bucket. So I tried to keep it pretty basic and the same stuff. Like I would get lettuce, a little milk, bread, sometimes throw a little color in there, maybe some bones or something, just whatever, a little color, some tomatoes and stuff. But yeah, I always made my own slop.
That's
and I
awesome.
guess you guys maybe over the years have heard about the Sunny slop. I don't know if you've heard about that or not.
I have not. I have not heard about that.
Really?
Really?
Well, I figured you guys would ask me that question, but because I get asked that about every podcast.
Wow. I've not heard about
Sonny
that.
got slopped.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Sonny got slopped.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen that. Well, we got to TV early, and I think it was Bruce Pritchard, I think, said Sonny's getting slopped tonight. I said, "Oh my God, that's awesome." So we went and ate, and I made up the slop, made it about half full, my little bucket, took it back to the locker room, and I told everybody in there, I said, "Sonny's getting slop tonight. Nobody mess with the slop." And I set it down and I walked out. So when I come back in to get it for TV, for the match, it was almost filled to the top.
Oh no. Oh no.
So, of course, X Pac, Razor, Dr. Tom Pritchard, all the guys who dip, they added to the slop. So Sonny got a special slopping that night.
Oh my God! Oh, that's
Yeah.
rough. Ooh,
Yeah, I
man.
figured you guys knew that.
Oh no,
I knew she got slopped.
I knew she got slopped. I didn't know there was anything special about it. Whew, that's the only one that.
Juice in there.
Oh, yeah.
That is rough. Oh, that is rough. Man.
So you guys tagged for a while, and then you switched. Well, they repackaged you basically, right, to Southern Justice.
Yeah, because Vince Russo didn't think hillbillies should have a belt or could carry the belt, but that's another whole damn story on his ass. But anyway, yeah, and then I broke my neck against Hawk and Animal.
Well, if you're going to
Came
get
home.
if you're going to get your neck broken in a match, that's probably the one to get your neck broken with those guys. I mean,
Right, yeah.
you know what I mean?
And
wow.
exactly. But yeah, it was a little disheartening because I had told him I'm not a stooge. I'm old school, so I didn't go and say, "Hey, Hawk's messed up. Let's not do this." I just said, "Hey, I don't feel comfortable doing this move tonight
Right.
because Hawk was messed up at TV." And but we did it anyway. The office wanted me to do it, take the flip, and sure enough, I cracked my C7. That was in Binghamton, New York. I came home the next day and was supposed to take 14 weeks off. I took 6 off, went back on the road, and wrestled 7 weeks with a broken neck. Vince had a trainer with me every night, taking care of me, but it was bad. So the last night I wrestled, we wrestled Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, and we were supposed to get the belts that night. We were already a Southern Justice, Jeff Jarrett was our manager, and but they wanted me to go home, so I came home and had spinal fusion done, C6, C7. Me and Stone Cold had the same fusion, and then I got let go, and that was that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I thought you had something to say. Looking back at it, I don't know how to word this. Looking back at it with the injury, do you think that working those 7 weeks you said with it still broken? If you had to do it all again, would you tell them no?
I probably would have just, we're men.
I know what you
and
mean.
that shit gets in blood. And man, I was sitting at home going crazy just for 6.5 weeks,
Just itching to get
and
back.
I was ready to get back to work. Yeah, I was ready to get back, and but it was stupid. I should have went on and handled it differently, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, and
Still had a good time.
And we understand why you would do it, because wrestling isn't just a job; it's a way of life, and you absolutely it's in your blood, and it's worse than any addiction you could have. You just need it, and I understand that 100%.
Yeah.
So, what happens in the life of Henry Godwinn now?
Up here in Appalachia, man, just hanging, still raising hogs, just enjoying life here on the farm, and do a lot of mudding, riding. Got a razor, just living the dream, man.
Absolutely,
Appalachia style.
some of the most beautiful parts of the country is Appalachia. Absolutely. We're from southern.
God's country. Yep.
Yeah, we're from southern Indiana, Seymour, and not too many hills here. It's pretty flat, but my wife.
A lot of good farming up there, though.
There is a lot of good. Yeah, I mean, there's farming that's going on right over here right now. I mean, to the side of my house. So, it's But talk about Appalachia.
I take that over skyscrapers any day.
Uh-huh.
What was it?
You take that over skyscrapers any day.
Oh yeah, for sure. Speaking of Seymour, Indiana, did you ever get a chance to work with Rip Rogers?
Rip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
in WCW.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Do you have any Rip stories? We like to bring those out on here because being that we are from Seymour, we like Rip Rogers stories.
One, and there's several people that can verify this story.
Oh Lord!
I'm so excited. You have no idea.
You can ask Tex, and you can ask Barry Windham because it happened with Barry Windham. We were on the road down there. I forget where we were at. It was a little show. We were riding with Barry. Rip was there. Barry goes in the bathroom and explodes. So he gets up, drops his keys in the commode before he flushes. So he doesn't know what to do. He's looking for a hanger. Rip says, I'll get it. Barry paid him to get his keys and wash them. Barehanded.
Oh Lord!
So that story sticks with me. I always think of that story, and when I see Barry, matter of fact, I seen him a couple years ago at Gary Dameron's show in Charleston, and we talked about that. So that's one of my Rip stories.
Wow. Yeah. Yep. Rip's a friend of the podcast. I've known him a very long time.
Yeah,
and
doesn't surprise
Barry,
me.
Give him like $50 or $100. You ask Rip.
We will. Next time we see him, we'll ask him for sure. 'Cause that's pretty good.
So it seems like for a while you were you living the farm life, and then when Survivor Series came, after the Survivor Series appearance, it seems like everyone's trying to book you for conventions and everything now. So it's kind of like a resurgence where you're back out and meeting all these fans and everything. So what's that like now?
Well, it was nice for the BSK to finally get together all at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a Survivor Series, and oh my God. We got in that evening, and we had to take our COVID tests. Everybody passed, so we were good. We went to the bar. We got down there about 9. I think Taker rolled in about 10:15, somewhere around there. And the last thing I remember is falling, going to the room. And Undertaker and Godfather had to put me to bed. But, man, we made up for 20 years in that one night. But, yeah, what a great group of guys, and I miss Yoko and Paul, and just we were a very diverse group. We had rednecks, hillbillies, Samoans, blacks, whites. I mean, just Asian, awesome. Hawaiian. It was a stew, a cluster stew. But man, we definitely got along and brothers, and we'll always be that way. Oh, yeah. Like I say, you guys need to check out that Table for Five we did.
Definitely
at WrestleMania. You'll
be checking that out
laugh
tonight,
your ass
Yeah, that
off.
sounds like a good thing to watch tonight. Yeah, watch that before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So, not only
as far as doing the shows, I I like doing them, and we're going to be up y'all's way in Fort Wayne.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we'll
for
see.
Jason Maples, October 28th and 29th, and Godfather will be there. So it'll be 3 BSK members up there.
Yeah. We're going to do that convention too that weekend.
Yeah, well, so we'll see you there.
Yeah, and then we're doing one. I think I talked to you all about the one in Albany, the 22nd, 23rd. Was it y'all I talked to you about that?
I don't know if that was us or not. I know it wasn't me.
Maybe it was that. Maybe it was the other table. But there's a. We're going for the guy that does Nick, that does Captain's Corner.
Uh-huh.
Do you know that guy?
Yeah, I know of him.
We're going to Albany convention with him the week before we come up to see you guys, and then the next day we're in New England, and then fly back home, and then next weekend we come up there.
Man.
So you guys will be there, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yep, we'll be in Fort Wayne. Yep. So we'll
Well,
definitely see
good.
you there.
Maybe Morty
We'll
will try
hook
to
up
outdrink
there.
you.
Me trying out? No.
You'd be hospitalized, bud.
I would, yeah. I'd be under the table by 8 p.m. I'm not gonna do that.
Well, I'd say if I was driving and flying, I'd bring some of that Mountain Dew up,
Yeah, yeah,
the
good
clear
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You know,
We'd all be under the table there.
there's
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, there's a lot of corn in Indiana, so we know about the clear stuff around here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
a lot of good farming, a lot of good cornfields up there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You know, I never thought bringing and having you on the show that we would find things out like he got tucked in by the Barbarian and Undertaker and Godfather, all on different, two different occasions.
Different adventures.
I know, but I tell you what, that just shows you that you've got great friends and you've made great friends in the business. Because, I mean, I can tell you this guy wouldn't tuck me in.
Oh, I would.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, in all reality, I think that we can put a bow on this one if you'd like. We want to thank you so much for coming on.
Well, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And we'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Thank you so much for coming on this episode of Connecting Through Wrestling. It was an absolute honor. Once again, if anybody wants to meet Henry, you can meet him at the Heroes and Legends up in Fort Wayne in October the...
Was it 28th, 29th, and 30th?
Got something I wanted to show you guys real quick.
Cool. Sounds good, yeah.
I found this the other day. Taker gave me this in '96, and I just found it about a month ago.
It's a Undertaker funny car.
It's the real cast iron Undertaker funny car, dragster car, and I just found it the other day.
That is awesome. That is so cool. Fantastic. Well, once again, sir, thank you for coming on, and we will definitely want to talk again sometime.
Yeah, maybe we get Phineas on here.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
not really sure what way to I don't know if he's on social media a lot to be
Yep.
able to like reach out to him.
Well, once
Yeah, and I'll and we'll see you guys up there, and we'll set something up.
Okay.
sounds great. Thank you, sir. Have a great one.
Cool, man. You guys too. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
All right. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody, it's Morty.
It's Brian.
And thank you for watching today's episode of Developmentally Speaking.
If you could, please click that subscribe button.
And don't forget to punch that bell icon so you can get notified whenever we go live or drop a new video every Monday. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next
Developmentally speaking.